Hi Stampers, it's Linda Schmitt with Stampin' with the Hounds. Today I have a fun fold for you, so Friday fun fold. This one is called an angled gatefold card. I've been really, yes, it's Halloween, and I love this little set. It's called Best Witches, and it's new in the 2022 mini catalog. And I'm usually not one when it comes to Halloween stuff, like for cutesy stamps. But for some reason, I don't know, this one kind of, it grew on me. And I really do like it. And it coordinates really well with the Bewitching stamp. And there is also the Witch Builder Punch too, that comes as a bundle for these two together. So lots of fun. I've been playing with the Halloween cards today. And so this one, there's different ways that you can do the pattern. You can either do 2 pattern papers like I did on this one. You can just do the one and leave the other side blank as a cardstock. And then what I've been doing when you open these up, so there's your angle, and it's angled here. Then to tuck it, I've been adding a little bit of dimension. Oops, I don't know if you can see it here. I've got a little dimensional, on this side here. Now you can see it there. And that way I can just tuck that corner underneath it. Otherwise, what you can do is when you cut your card base, you're going to have a strip left over. So you can use that strip to make a belly band if you want. That's another way of having it so that it stays closed. But I kind of I don't always like the belly bands. I don't know why. I'm always like, you give it to somebody and they're like, they take it off and they're like, well, here's my card. And then they go to display it and it's like, well, what do I do with the other stuff? But anyway, that's just me being goofy. But so anyway, so you can use that belly. You can make a belly band to hold that, the card closed. So that's another one. And I was kind of doing some non-traditional Halloween colors. So this is the new Orchid Oasis in color. And then I did some Highland Heather. And then this is the Parakeet Party ink. And then I did a little bit of the, oh my gosh, what is this pink called again? We have so many pinks sometimes. Polished pink. So again, non-traditional Halloween colors, but that green, I just love this Parakeet Party. It just really, it's a fun, it's perfect for Halloween. So again, I've just got my little circle with the dimensional on it that kind of holds my corner down on that. And then here's another one. This is the Orchid Oasis cardstock. And then I'm using some of the new ombre glimmer paper. So you get, it comes in like these 6x6, and you get, of course I don't have there's 3 color. Is there just the 3? No, there is 4. You get the sweet sorbet. You're getting the a blue. You're getting kind of like this Orchid Oasis. Oops, sorry, where is it now? Oh, here it is. Kind of the Orchid Oasis Starry Sky combination, and then that Parakeet Party. So it has that beautiful ombre look to it. So it goes from light to dark. So it's kind of fun. Another good use for Halloween cards is that glimmer paper. So I've been using that. So that's what I did on here. So again, on this one, I'm just having it be tucked underneath that little circle on that one. And that Parakeet Party, I think, is perfect for her skin colors, that wicked, the wicked green. And then here's one that I used, the Witch Hat stamp from the Bewitching bundle. And again, there's that ombre glimmer paper. And then on this one, this time I did a little, my saying is what is holding that card closed, and then I decorated the inside with it. And then when you're cutting off your paper, you've got these triangles left over, so if you want to use that to decorate the inside of the card, you can do that too. So that's another way. So again, a lot of times I'm decorating both sides of the panels with the paper. Here's another one that we're using that gingham paper, and then I actually took my Stampin' blends and I created additional lines. So I'm going to show you that today. So don't let me forget. I've like got to make sure I grab that marker. So I want to show you how to do that. And then here's another one with the pumpkin pie, and then the green. And then I did that Orchid Oasis for her hair, for on that one. So on this one, the little frog just kind of tucks that in. And then this was my very first one. And I screwed up on the cutting, but it wound up, it still works. It's just a little bit different. It's more, it looks like an envelope. Kind of what I think. And when you do the flaps, you can close it either way, depending on what you want to be focused on for your showing when you have the card closed. So this was my first one, and again, like I kind of screwed it up, but you don't really know because it still works. So it was just angled a little bit different than the other one. So we are going to get started. We're going to do I think kind of like a version of this one. I've kind of, every time I do these, I'm just kind of playing around, doing my own thing. So I don't always have it all put together, ready to go. So what you need for supplies, you are going to need, your card base is going to be 5.5 by 11. So when you cut that off, you're going to have, I'm just going to grab a few things before I forget. You're going to have this piece left over. So this is where you can cut to make your belly band. So just cut this at 1 inch, and then you're just going to wrap that belly band around your card. So the card base is, again, 5.5 by 11. We're going to score at 3 3/8 and 7 5/8. Or you can just score at 3 3/8, flip it, and score again at 3 3/8. And that's what I'm going to show you today when I'm doing it. The inside piece, this is just for layering, and that can be any color. You can do colored cardstock, you can do white, neutral, whatever you want. This is just your standard 4 by 5 1/4. You're going to need designer series paper, and you can either do 1 or 2. I've been doing 2, but you can certainly just only do the 1, so it doesn't matter. But those are going to be cut at 3 1/8 by 5 1/4. And then I'm going to show you how we mark. We mark at 3 3/8 and 7 5/8 for the scoring. And then to make the angled marks, I'm going to show you, we're going to go down, you're going to mark it. So make sure you have a pencil handy and a ruler, because we're going to make some marks so that we know how to cut that diagonal look. And then the same thing with the designer series paper. We're going to mark, and then this is what we're cutting. So this black off area is the parts that are being cut off. Excuse my cryptic diagram. But anyway, and on the designer series paper, you can cut both of those at the same time when you do that. So let's get started. So I've already got my cardstock. So this was 5.5 by 11. We're going to score this at 3 3/8. So we're going to score at 3 3/8. And then, like I said, I'm just going to flip it, and I'm going to score again at 3 3/8. Okay. So now that is just, that's your gatefold. Okay. Now what we're going to do is we're going to make these marks. I'm going to zoom in a little bit here so you can kind of see what I'm doing. So how I do this is I'm going down to 1 1/2, and I'm just making a tick mark. So I'm going to go down at 1 1/2, and then I'm going to go over at 1 inch and make a tick mark. Okay. So what you're doing, and you don't have to do this, but I'm just going to do this so you can kind of see. These are your cut lines that you'll be doing. I'm just going to draw these so you can kind of see where we're cutting. Okay. So that's how we're going to cut this off, and then we're going to cut this part off. Okay. So again, it's down 1 1/2, make a tick mark, go over 1 and make a tick mark, and do the same thing on the other side. So I'm going to go down 1.5 and make a tick mark. I'm going to go over 1 and make a tick mark. And then same thing. This is going to be cut. So you're going from the mark to that score line, and that's what's going to be cut off. So like I said, you don't have to draw these lines. I'm just doing it so you can kind of see better what I'm doing when I go to cut it in my paper trimmer. Okay, so that is what is being cut off. We're cutting off this corner and this triangle corner up here. Okay. All right, so now we're going to go, oops, sorry, there we go. All right, so now I'm going to get my paper trimmer. So you want to make sure, I'll kind of zoom in a little bit here. I don't know if this will be the best way of seeing this. On my paper trimmer, this is where my cutting groove is, okay? I'm making sure that this tick mark and this tick mark are lined up in that cutting groove so that when I go to cut, it's cutting off that triangle. Then I'm going to angle my paper. Same thing. I'm going to take this tick mark, make sure it's in my cutting groove. I'm going to move this one over so that this top score line here is in that cutting groove. So we're cutting off this top triangle. Okay, so that's your right side. Then again, because I had drawn that pencil mark, I'm just going to erase that. Okay, now we're going to cut off and do the other one. So same thing, you want to take, I may have to move some things on my desk here, sorry, because now I'm going to be at a different angle here. So again, you want to have that tick line needs to be in your cutting groove, and then that top score line is in that cutting groove as well, so that we can cut off that triangle. Then we're just going to rotate it, and again I'm going to have this tick line in my cutting groove, shift this over so that this bottom 1-inch tick mark is in the cutting groove as well. And then cut that off. All right, so that then is your gatefolds. Now we can just go ahead and fold these in. So it ends up kind of looking like a little suit jacket kind of cover on that. Okay, so that's the card base. All right, your designer series paper. So I'm doing it so that I have two. Okay, so these are both the same paper, but when you go to cut these, you want to make sure, so if you want to see both patterns, okay, you want to keep your two pieces of paper stacked together like this. So I want the black and the pumpkin. So actually I want my pumpkin being on this side. So I'm going to have the pumpkin side facing up, pumpkin side facing up. Okay. Now keeping these held together, we're going to do those same measurements. Down 1.5 and over 1. Okay. So we're going to just mark down 1.5 and over 1 inch. Now keeping these both held together, we're going to place that, because we need to cut this mark to this corner. So we're cutting off that top part. Actually, I'm going to turn this around so it's a little bit better. So here's my down my 1.5. So hard when I zoom in my camera. I have to adjust everything. Okay, so there's my 1 inch tick mark, and then I want to make sure this is at that corner in the cutting groove. And I'm going to cut through both layers. So I got both those layers cut. I'm going to set those aside. Now you want to cut from here down to your 1-inch mark. So again, put this one in the cutting groove, shift this over so that this 1-inch mark is in the cutting groove. And you're going to cut through both layers. So now when you flip it, you see both sides. Okay? So as you're cutting, if you want to see opposite sides of the paper, make sure when you cut it that they're both facing whatever pattern you want on the right side, have both pieces showing that side up. Otherwise, if you want them both to be the same, then you would need to cut it one being this way and one being this way when you go to cut your paper. And then you would both have the mirrored images. Okay? But I wanted 2 different sides showing. So that's it for the cutting and the scoring. Now, like I said, I wanted to decorate. So this is that, oh my gosh, this paper, this is going to last me a lifetime. This is that gingham cottage. Look at this paper, guys. It's like, I can't remember how many sheets it is, but it's a ton. It's huge. So I'm going to be like every card class from here on out. We're going to be using this paper because, oh my gosh, it's going to take me a lifetime to go through it. But yeah, lots of paper in there. But it's fun. So you can actually color this. So I'm going to take, so my card base, I'm going to zoom out here a little bit now. So I'm going to have this on the right and then this on the left. So I'm thinking, because I've already, to save on time, I colored my witch already, and I die cut her on the largest circle in our layering circle dies. And then this is the largest scallop, and I did that on the Parakeet Party cardstock. So she's already colored, cut, and die cut, and ready to go. So I'm going to have her be on here. So I'm thinking I'll probably do some extra gingham lines, and I'm going to do the Parakeet Party. So I'm going to do the dark, and I'm going to use the fine tip. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to draw, and I'm going to use my ruler again. I'm just going to draw some lines just to add some color to my gingham paper. You can also, if you wanted to like use a sponge dauber, you could do that and color everything in. But I just wanted to add additional lines to this just for a pop of color. Yeah, I meant to do this video, oh my gosh, probably a couple weeks ago. Life has just been a little chaotic with getting back into work, and then, just with the dogs. I've been volunteering more with the Greyhound group, and so I had some activities over the weekends. So yeah, I just haven't been able to get down to the stamp room to do these videos. All right, I'm going to do one little line here to finish that off. Okay, and then maybe we'll do one more here. Okay, so there. That just adds just a little bit of color, and it's just another way of showing like how you can color that DSP. So let's go ahead and layer these onto our card front. And I like using the liquid glue because it gives me just a little bit of wiggle room to do before I actually adhere this down. So that's the left. So that's on. So now we're going to go ahead and do the other side. And this one I want the pumpkin pies showing. So we're going to put the glue on the black and white side. Yeah, I did my fall walk this morning. Well, I walk several times a week, my long walks through the marsh. And the colors are just outstanding right now for our fall in Minnesota. It is really, I feel like we've peaked already. And it's only like the beginning of October. So, but yeah, the colors are just amazing. Okay, so there's my bases on there. So like I said, now I want to decide, do I want my orange, and then this can be holding my flap. Yeah, I think I like this. I'm going to have this one be the one that's open. So what I'm going to do is I'm only going to add a dimensional on the left side of my little frog here. And I'm using, I'll probably just do 2 on this left side. And then I just want to position it so that I can, yep, I can still tuck that underneath there. Okay, so we'll just press that down. And then my witch, let's see, did I want to put a saying on the outside? Let's see here. Yeah, I think we could do that. So I'm going to do this in the Orchid Oasis, and I'm just going to stamp directly on the pattern paper. And then I'm only going to put glue on this right side because I don't, this is going to be overhanging, and so I don't want it glued to this side. So I'm only going to focus on having glue on the one side of this die cut. So then when you open it, you don't see that glue. All right, and then we do want to decorate our inside of the card. So this is just that 4 by 5 1/4. I'm just going to put a little, get my paper out here so I don't stamp on my mat. I'm going to do my little spider that's coming down. So we'll do that, and then I think I'll do my saying. We'll do this in pumpkin pie. And this is a retired saying that was from a couple of years ago in a mini catalog, but I'm just going to do happy haunting. And then I think I'll add on the inside of my card, when you open it up, I'm going to do a couple of little witch hats in the Orchid Oasis. These are just on the panels. This is just optional. I just like to kind of decorate the inside a little bit more. And then we'll put this in the inside. And then if you want, you know, you've got these extra pieces left over, you can add these into your card if you want. Maybe I'll add a little bit of the pumpkin pie one. Might as well use up your scraps. You can use these to decorate it. And since I have so many of these triangles, I'm going to figure out a card using up all these triangle scraps. You can use this to decorate your envelopes too. Like I said, you're going to have plenty of them. Okay. Then, got a little muck there. Okay. And then that'll just tuck under like so. Oops, there we go. All right, so that is the angled gatefold card. So you got the little spider kind of peeking out with there. And then, like I said, you can use up these triangle scraps that you have to decorate the inside of the card or your envelopes. But anyway, that is it. So thanks for watching. I look forward to stamping with you again soon. If you've got ideas or other fun fold or techniques that you want me to feature, leave a comment down below and I will do my best to come up with some new projects. So thanks again. Have a great day and I will stamp again with you soon. Bye-bye.